We are going to bring up our next speaker, Anna Bursell. Welcome, Anna. I'm so happy to have you here, and
Hi.
I'm delighted to have you as a speaker. And I'm going to go ahead and give you the stage.
Thank you, Haley. So, thank you so much, Haley. I know you have like 75,000 people in your community. It's amazing. And I'm so honored to speak to you all. So, I'm Anna Bursell, and I work as a hypnotherapist, coach, stress, and trauma specialist. And I'm also trained in eye movement therapy. I'm an NLP master practitioner and EFT tapping master practitioner too. So I'm from Sweden. You might hear that, but I work globally. So I have my clinic here in Sweden, but I work online and travel and so on. So we are going to talk about how to handle stress. What kind of 3 of our conditions that we have to work with to handle stress. And I'm going to share about our stress languages. I'm writing a book about our stress languages right now, so I'm super excited to share this new news with you. And I'm also, everything I do is to expand your well-being and for us to be kinder to yourself and to others in the process. And on top of that, we are also going to go through some tools together in this couple of minutes we have together. And I'm here to serve you the very best to expand your well-being. And yeah, I say yeah a lot, and that means yes in Swedish. I guess you probably understood that, but yeah. So I have always been, since I was a kid, asking questions like why we do what we do. And I'm so fascinated with patterns. And I see very clear we always need, no matter what age, we need 3 things. And that is to feel that we are heard, that we are seen, and that we are valued. So my intention with all my work is those 3 and to speak from my heart to yours. So about 7 years ago, I had to start all over in my life. I was injured in a traumatic childbirth, and the healthcare workers, they were overworked and they did a lot of things wrong during the labor. And I was traumatized. I was injured both physically and mentally, and there were a lot of things lacking for treatment. So I was. It's been a very, very long way back for me. And I do have some injuries left, but my PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, and postpartum depression and chronic insomnia, and that is something I have healed. So I also went from I had hormones like a 69-year old. So now I have my own age, so I'm very happy for that. And now I also help others to find their well-being, and that was my big dream. So, and that is something I felt straight away, like we need love, respect, and empathy in bringing life to this world more than ever. So that is the background, the reason why I do what I do. So there was nobody who in the entire world who can explain why we get postpartum depression. So I have done research on this. So I'm very excited because now in a couple of months, I'm going out with my study, why we get postpartum depression and the 6 biggest risk factors. So it's very exciting. But now let's dive into our 3 pillars of your well-being. And we will start with number 1. We have our brain. We talked about the subconscious. And the subconscious is your blueprint for your behaviors, beliefs, system, and so much more. And this forms already when you are in your mother's stomach. And it forms until you are about 7 years old. So you're completely open in that state. And that is when the subconscious is made. And when we are in that state from 0 to 7, we are in brain waves in the state called alpha and theta waves. And that brain waves are exactly the same brain waves that we come down to during hypnosis. And that is why hypnosis is extremely effective. So when you want to change or work with your thoughts, feelings, or behaviors, hypnosis is very powerful to do that. But you need to want to make that change. So I get questions a lot if you can send your partner to me and upgrade them. And so you can, but the partner needs to want these changes. Then it will work. Okay. So the second pillar we have is the body. So what kind of energy are you feeding your body? Like what kind of food are you eating? Are you eating because you want to feel full, or you're giving it energy? And depending what you eat, this is also how you're gonna manage stress in your life. Also, how you use your body, like if you work out, because when you exercise, you also burn the stress hormones. And if you use your body in techniques, you can release stress from your body. And that is also a key to healing. And the third pillar is the nervous system. And I love this so much. I love hearing about it a lot on the internet now that people are talking about that. Finally, because this is super important. Because if your nervous system is not regulated, then we have trouble taking in information. And you can go to a very inspirational lecture and it could be super good, but you can't take in the information. This is why I wanted to spread this awareness about this, because it's so important. So like when you're talking to somebody, like in your relationship, in school, if you are a teacher, and how you can regulate the kids' nervous system so they can take in the information. And for leaders, how to talk to employees. And also if you yourself go to therapy and you have stress and trauma in your life, then you need to be regulated first. And then the tools like in talk therapy that are out there, they're amazing, but you cannot take it in until you're regulated. So I want to emphasize, it's nothing wrong with you if you know something, but you can't do it. Like I know it's important to eat healthy and exercise, but you don't do it. And it's important to meditate, but when you do, you can't sit still. So it's about being regulated and also what program is activated in your subconscious. So for you to make the right decisions from your heart, not from fear, you need to have a regulated nervous system. And I'm going to show you some tools how to do that, of course. And what even is a regulated nervous system? Well, to say it in simple terms, we can divide it in two parts. So when you are feeling stressed, you cannot take in information and your system is not regulated because it shouldn't be, because you are under threat. So you have a natural reaction. So it's normal for your body to react. So then if you sit down and try to meditate, of course, it becomes a conflict in your body, because why are you sitting down and taking it easy when you're under attack? And the other part is when you are regulated, then you can rest and digest, and your body can heal what it needs to heal. So you cannot take logically or see opportunities when you're not regulated. So then you are in fight, flight, freeze mode, and that is something we need when we are under attack. So the nervous system gets its information not from your knowledge. It takes in information from your senses. That is why your body is so important, okay? It's also important for you to recognize with whom you are spending most time with. So the 5 people you spend the most time with are all the ones who are directly affecting your nervous system. So it's good to have that in mind. And if we don't take care of the 3 pillars, then of course a small thing will be big for you because your system is already overloaded. So don't compare stress or trauma with anyone, I mean. And this is why I want us to know this, because we can have compassion with ourselves, and all of us are worthy. We just come from different conditions. So now we're going to do exercise for you. This one you can do by yourself. It's a big one, and you can do it to calm your nervous system, to regulate it, to use your senses. So now I am assuming that you all brush your teeth. I sure hope so. This exercise is to train your sense to be aware of your senses when you brush your teeth. So taste your toothpaste. How does it taste? How does it smell? Look in the mirror. How do you look when you brush your teeth? And what sound does it make? And also, this exercise will train your mind to be here and now. So it's very powerful. Even if it sounds simple, it's meant to be simple. We are complex beings, but there are simple things to do to feel good. So try it out. You're brushing your teeth anyway. Yeah. And I did some research on what I call our stress languages. Maybe you heard of Gary's book, The Love Languages, how we want to get treated when we are being loved. And I can absolutely recommend that book. So our languages is so important. So if you are, let's say, in a relationship, and usually we attract the opposite of our stress languages. Yeah. And it's actually crucial for us to know how you communicate when you're stressed and how you want to be loved. And that is the key for making a respectful, loving relationship to yourself and to others. Okay? So, what I found when I was researching on stress hormones, we all have them, but we all have one that is our primal one. So, this is usually how we react under stress and why. So, of the stress languages, I'm going to share with you today one of them, the one I call the volcano. A volcano is often a person who is loyal and you like to have everything in its place, usually a perfectionist. You want to have control, especially of your environment. Usually you are a leader and you can also be very creative. And this means that when you get stressed, you usually get angry. So if you are a volcano, then it's your norepinephrine that is your hormone that is mostly active when you get stressed. And I'm telling you this because I want us to have compassion, to be kind to ourselves, because it doesn't mean that something's wrong with you if you react this way. So how does our brain work when you get activated, and what do you need? Well, this goes from when you're a child, so all ages, okay? Feeling has to meet feelings, and logic has to meet logic, okay? So if you meet your colleague or partner or friend or child who is stressed, don't start with a solution. Start with seeing, hearing, confirming the feeling, and then slide in with the solution. Otherwise, it's most likely a crash. So when we are children, I'm laughing because it happens every day. Otherwise, when we are children, our parents, caregivers, the one who are close to us when we are children, are teaching our nervous system how to regulate itself. So maybe your parents did not talk about the nervous system, I bet. So when you are upset as a kid, if you were told to shut up, go away, stop feeling your feelings, then your nervous system did not learn how to regulate, because your nervous system needs to feel that your feelings are valid. So that is why it's crucial to work with the nervous system and how the brain works. So it's not curling or hoovering or what they call it. It's actually working with the system that you have if you're a human being. So that is why we need to get our feelings met by feelings, okay? So this exercise we're going to go together, I call it the oxytocin shower, because what is happening during this exercise? Well, we are going to calm the brain waves to go down to theta waves, and the feel-good hormone, oxytocin, is increasing and makes us feel calm. And then the nervous system gets the signal and it gets regulated and you feel good again. And you can do it by yourself. Well, you couldn't do it as a kid, but now you can as an adult. But when you were a kid, you probably just shut down or created a habit to cope with it, and not necessarily maybe a good habit, but it's never too late. And now we're going to do the oxytocin shower. So I want you to take your hands and cross them over like this. Then put your hands on your shoulder and just stroke down to your elbow. Just keep them up and down. So it's most preferably to do it skin to skin, but it's fine to do it on a shirt. And then I want you to look up in the ceiling. Just keep stroking and look up and breathe calm. And this you can do, you can start your morning like this, or when I do trauma-informed workplaces, they do it in the morning to start the day in the right mindset. So now we have a couple of minutes here in this talk, but you can keep doing that if you want to. So I'm really emphasizing that we are meant to feel our feelings, but we're not meant to stay in the feelings that make us feel bad. And when we stay in those dark feelings and thoughts, that is what brings us down. That is when we get sick and burn out and depressed. And also, I want to give you a tool. One more. Yeah, we have time for that. So I want to give you the fastest breathing technique to reset your stress levels, to break the stress signal. And this is something the body does naturally. So I think maybe you can recognize it. The body does this naturally when you are under a lot of distress, like you're crying so much. So we can do it together. Are you guys ready? So I want you to take 2 big breaths inside into your nose and then out through your mouth, and just keep doing it. Good. You can do it until you feel calm. Good. So please, I also want to say that always remember to be a well-being seeker in every moment. So ask yourself, what can I do to feel better in this moment? So I want to thank you so much for listening and for having me. Thank you, Haley.
Thank you, Anna. That was awesome. Such amazing tips that you're sharing. And people will find you, I guess, on your website at annabursell.com.
Yeah, and it's both in Swedish and in English. Everything I do is there. So there are free tools there too, videos, and you can download material there also.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today.